Sup fellas, so happy Homebrew Wednesday. First need to go, but yeah, so Wednesday night, this is my Columbus Smash, bottled on the 28th of the 1st and 5.3%. It's not a review, but it's one of the Smash testers I did for the Smash Off, and I've only got a couple of each left, so yeah, so pour this, we'll have a quick chat about Homebrew Wednesday, what I've been doing, what's been happening, and then we're going to do my frequently asked beer questions. So, first off, cheers. That's good, a little bit more bitter than I wanted it, but it's still pretty good. Columbus seems like a nice hop. So, beers wise, American wheat kicked, the bitters kicked, and the dark side IPA is carved, but I'm trying to leave that to age a bit for May the 4th. I've got a few beers conditioning under there. They're a surprise that'll be coming up in a couple of weeks, and I've got my turbo cider that's carbon up as well, and then cold crash that, and that's come out pretty good, so happy with that one as well. So on to 200 subs. So 200 subs competition that I'm doing with Red Dog Brewer is closed from now. Alright, so as this video is up, oh god, it is now closed. I'll be drawing it, recording it, talking to Red Dog, and we'll be probably announcing it Friday who the two people that have won between us, and then I'll be sending, then those two people will be getting 6 beers, 3 from me and 3 from him, vice versa. Put that down. So that's pretty much it. I've hardly done anything else. I've made a dip tube for the keg, and I've made a sparge manifold for the mash tun. I'm not finished them yet because I need to wait till I get some money, get some pumps. Probably end up getting the Keg Kingdom pumps because they look awesome. They're the ones that New Homebrew Tom's got. Right guys, so to the frequently asked beer questions. So this is in response to Tasting Nitch. We all know it. She's given on the challenge of 9 questions, and I've been nominated by Mike from Rage and Go Brewery. And if you haven't watched his video, get over and watch it. It's absolutely cracking. If you're not sub to him as well. So I've got them written down here, and we'll go through them. So number 1, how did you get into beer geeking and why beer? So kind of got into it not too long ago. Not as long as some of you guys have been into beer geeking, and it's basically because sort of all the stories will end up mixing together. You'll notice that about mine. And why beer? So I didn't really used to drink beer a lot when I was younger. It was like sort of Foster's, Carlin, and Stella, things like that, like lagers. Not particularly nice. Didn't particularly like them, but drank them to get drunk. Because they were cheap, and you know, it was alright. And I didn't really get into drinking proper beers like these for a few years. So say I started drinking things like Guinness and brown ale, maybe like John Smith's, and that was pretty much it. And again, they're nice beers, but you know, it gets a bit samey. And the whole beer geeking came around because I love my whiskies. Absolutely love single malt Scotch whiskies, Japanese single malt whiskies, some American whiskies, and I love the flavours, I love the aromas, and I like tasting them. And one of my friends didn't like whiskies, so he decided he was going to challenge me, because I said I didn't like cask beer. I was like, I'm not drinking that shite. I know. But he said, and he didn't like whiskey, so I said, you need to try some of my whiskey, you need to try some. You haven't tried pop whiskey, you'd had like Grant's. I know. And obviously I'd had Guinness, John Smith's, and maybe some Stones. And so he said, you come to the pub with me, try a beer, proper beer, hand pulled beer engine beer, and I'll come and try one of your whiskies and we'll sort of talk about it from there. So I went and had a pint of, it was called Concert Red Dust from the Concert Brewery, which, if you don't know it, Concert's not far away from me. It's probably about 5-10 miles. And Red Dust was a Ruby Mild. And he said, try that one, you might like that. Tried it, loved it, absolutely loved it. And then said, right, okay, so he tried whiskey, ended up he loved the whiskey. So that's basically it. And you know, why beer? It was the flavours, the aromas, and it's between 4 and 6%, majority of them, apart from the big beers. And whiskies are like 40-45%, some of them 65 if you go on cask strength. So it was a lot easier to drink 4 or 5 beers than it was to drink 4 or 5 whiskies, because you just turn into a slurring mess when you drink 4 or 5 whiskies. So that's basically the whole reason why I started drinking beer, and just escalate from there. So, question number 2, favourite beer. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest, I can't pick one. 100% can't pick my favourite beer. Style of beer, I'd say I'm getting into this sort of hoppy pale ales, like American pale ales, quite a lot. I'm also getting into wheat beers. I'm really liking wheat beers, Bavarian wheat beers, and things like that. So, I can't actually pick one beer, and I've watched these videos now, quite a lot of them, and the best one I heard was SJ's. His favourite beer is the beer in his hand. So I like most beers. There's not many beers that I don't like. Tell you, I've had some bad ones, but if I buy it or I brew it, majority of the time I'm going to like it. So my favourite beer is whatever I'm sort of drinking at the time, but I do like them hoppy IPAs, hoppy American pale ales, and wheat beers. Love them. Right, so question 3 is, if I could only have one beer, what would it be? So the one beer thing is, again, just the same as boring as my favourite beer. I couldn't pick one. I probably could, you know, going off beers I like and the beers I drink, I could go for something like, I'd love to say like a big imperial stout, oak aged in a whiskey barrel. But again, if you can only have one beer, you want something you can enjoy no matter what. So if it's depths of winter, that'd be perfect, you know. But you know, summer's day in a barbecue, you're gonna have 3 pints of that, and you're gonna be dying. So you can't. It wouldn't work. So I think the only thing I think is possibly a Guinness. Guinness is a good choice, or something like the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale or Adam's Ghost Ship. Adam's Ghost Ship could be a good one. That could be a good one for me. If I could nail that down as Guinness or sort of like Adam's Ghost Ship or Sierra Nevada. Something along those lines. Awesome. So, question number 4. How can I drink so much and how do I stay healthy? So I don't actually drink that much. I would say I have 2 or 3 beers on a Friday, 1 or 2 beers through the week. To say I'll only have this tonight. Might have one on a Thursday or on a Monday or something like that. And depending on how I'm working, which comes into how I stay healthy. So if you don't know my job, I'm a fitness professional. So I'm a personal trainer. I have my own fitness company. I have my own studio. and I also run boot camps. So 6 times a week I'm running around like a blue ass fly, burpees, push-ups, nailing boot camp. I also train myself for resistance, weight training, and I eat healthy all the time. And these get factored into my diet. So I live my sort of nutritional life around sort called if it fits your macros. So your macros is like your carbohydrates, proteins and fats. So I set my carbohydrates, proteins and fats every couple of weeks to a month, and I live within those, but I do it on a 5-2. So 5-2 is 5 days a week I'm clean, 2 days a week I'm sort of do what I want, which usually works at Friday and Saturday. Sunday I'm usually pretty clean because I'll prep food. So with my lifestyle, my job, I stay pretty healthy. Comes to the summer and I'm cutting. I don't actually always cut the beer. I'm sort of a firm believer in, you know, eat and drink what you want in proportion to what you do. So I burn a ton of calories on a daily basis. Weekends I go hiking, kayaking, anything outdoors. I do it. And then sort of through the week I'm in the gym, I'm at work, I'm working out, I'm doing cardio, I've got clients, my one-to-ones. It just works, it works like that. So I'll leave it at that because I talk all day about work. So number 5, are you an alcoholic? No. Basic as, not an alcoholic. I don't depend on this stuff. I like it, but I don't drink it every single day, all day. I don't wake up and feel I need to have a beer. So I'm not an alcoholic, and I've never actually been asked it. So hey. What is your favourite ingredient is question number 6. So when I watched my first 2 or 3 of these, I thought, I'm going to have an original answer here, because my favourite ingredient would be yeast. A good clean yeast, because without yeast you don't get beer. Alcohol is not produced, and you know, you've just made a sweet wort and you can't really drink that. But loads of people said yeast, and I agree, yeast is probably my favourite ingredient. I'd like to extend it out there if anyone else wants to jump on this. I'd say my favourite ingredient is yeast. My favourite hop is Galaxy or Mosaic, probably Galaxy. And my favourite malt is base malt, like Marisota or Optic Spring Pale, something like that. So if anyone else wants to go, ooh, what's your favourite base malt, what's your favourite hop, go for it. I don't know how many people are going to watch this. So number 7, do you brew? Yes. Yes, I do. Not as much as I'd probably like. I've had a stint of brewing quite a few beers, because with the Smash beer and the Smash version 2, I've done a couple of stovetops. Then, you know, it doesn't come up to as much as I'd like. As I say, at the minute I've just put that on when that's kicked. So I've got that, but I want to leave that, but I want to fill that, and I want to fill that, and I've got a 3rd keg here. I want that full, so that when one of these goes, that can go straight on. And same, I want a bag in a box full under here, so that when that kicks, I can quickly clean the lines, whack that on, and just cycle and rotate. But I just don't seem to be getting the time at the minute to do that. So, but hopefully I will. I'll get ahead and then just keep adding one brew every couple of weeks to a month, probably a month to 6 weeks, and just keep on top of it. And that's basically it. So that's what I brew. So first beer, we'll get through these. First beer I ever had was Newcastle Brown Ale. So my dad didn't drink a lot in the house, but every sort of Friday he'd have a beer. And I always remember as a kid, he had one of these, us guys in England, you'll know, some of you Americans, you might know it as well, a pint glass, which had like, it was like square cubed all the way around, in like a domey shape with a handle. I had one of those and you had a half pint of it. And traditionally up here with Newcastle Brown Ale, you drink brown ale out of a half pint glass, and it's a 550 ml bottle. So you get a little bit more. So you drink it out of a half pint glass. And I always remember on Friday night, my dad would sort of let us suck a bit of the foam off the top. So my first beer would probably be Newcastle Brown Ale. My first proper beer on my own would probably have been something like a Foster's, in a park somewhere with one of my friends that we pinched off his dad, because, you know, we're just cool like that over here. And last but not least, who do I look up to in the brewing world? So I'll split this. So commercially, I look up to the Brewdog boys. Them two lads, what they've accomplished from where they started, it's fantastic. I know some people hate on Brewdog, but do you know what? They've gone from being home brewers to small commercial craft brewers to big commercial craft brewers to commercial freaking overlords. So I look up to them. I think the company ethos is great, giving everyone the recipes, and I think where they've got to is fantastic. Passion in buckets, man, and that is what I think builds it. It's passion. If you're passionate about something, you're going to put everything into it, and that's it. So then commercially, I'd say the Brewdog boys, whereas BrewTube wise and homebrewers, everyone, any homebrewer that whacks up a video and I watch and I like it, you know, I look up to them, you know. And obviously you've got the more knowledgeable guys that are going to help us newer guys out, but I'm also look up to the newer guys that ask the questions the same that I do, because they might ask a question that I've been thinking about and being, I don't want to ask that because I look like an idiot, but you know, someone will ask it and it's great. So if I had to pick a few, I'd probably say, like, the first people I started watching on YouTube was New Homebrew Tom, Harry Brew 69. Then I got into watching Tony Yates, and then from there SJ Paul. So they're probably the four big ones that I started watching the most, and then after that I started watching more and more, and that's when I decided to start uploading myself. So then I started watching people like Homebrew Chris, and, you know, Hapless Ginger Brew, Graham. Started watching him, Adam from Baldies, you know, his progression into the commercial side as well. That's inspirational as anything. So I look up to those guys and more, you know, I look up to everyone. So I don't want to bore you too much, and I hope this isn't like 30 minutes long, but I've got to nominate some guys. So I've not watched everyone's video yet, and I know the people that kind of have already put up the videos, but I think I'm going to nominate three fellas. Four. I'm going to have four fellas. Adam from Baldies, John Red Dog Brewer, Mark at Crew Wolf, and Graham at Hapless Ginger Brew. That's my four that I'm nominating to take these 9 questions, alright? So, thank you very much for watching. Hope I haven't bored you too much. And always, fellas, till the next time, cheers.